Technology and Policy first.
Call to order the Technology and Policy and Curriculum Committee. The first item up is videotaping of future board meetings as our topic.
So part of the conversation tonight, I invited Mr. Keith and Mr. Bartles to be part of the conversation regarding the videotaping piece. Jeremy was the gentleman that helped get the computer set up just a few moments ago, and he'd be the person doing the videotaping if the committee so chose to move ahead and then recommend the full board. I guess a couple of questions that'll need to be answered after Cannon gives you a few facts. Is what is the overall intent or the goal of the committee and the board ultimately with the videotaping? And then that'll help determine the length of, how long we need to preserve, and what I mean by preserve is save the videotapes, which will also then dictate what type of storage we need to purchase, if any, that type of thing. So those are probably the two most pressing things that we'll need clarified, but I'll let Cannon start with his conversation.
Basically, as Chris said, we have the equipment as far as the video camera and the tripod. As far as where we want to house it, that's really what we're waiting on. We have a district YouTube account that we put other things out there, so should we want to house it there and link it to our website, we can certainly go that route. As far as, like I said, equipment-wise, we're ready to go. Just need some direction on if you have any other parameters you need us to worry about.
I'll probably jump ahead a little with the Educator Board of Education software package. As we discussed, that offers the ability to manage the video. Do they also offer storage for that, or would it be a matter of linking to it?
As far as storage, they do for the docs. I mean, both of them offer storage. One, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but one offers like 7 years of archiving, the other one's 20 years of archiving.
Okay, so if we did choose to go with that package, it may make the most sense to store the video using that service.
Right, now the one, we may need to jump up to the next level, if you will. There's the LT version, one's a pro version that lets you embed the video. The other solution, I'm not sure that that one offered the embedding of the video.
Okay.
There was two that I was going to present to you guys.
Okay, I just bring that up just to keep in mind, because when we move forward to talk about that, that was a feature of some of those software packages, but if that costs a lot of money or wasn't viable, I mean, there's always, like you said, the YouTube option, free is great, so if we can post it there, that would work in my mind as well.
No, you can post it there, but YouTube's no guarantee it will be there if YouTube has redundant servers, right? But they're not going to guarantee you that some catastrophe couldn't happen, you lose it, right?
Sure.
So a simple option is right now just put it on ours. We've got a huge server with a lot of memory on that thing. How much hard drive space we have? I'll look at right now. The number of terabytes.
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty of storage in-house. It's just a matter of how does it look and how does it present. I mean, I would recommend just looking at, if we're doing it in-house, we need to get a different video kind of program to manage it, if you
right.
will.
Or
rather than,
Sorry to interrupt. How about, because obviously anywhere you put it, even if we do it in-house, the valid concern is it always could be lost. I mean, that's always a possibility. So if we're looking at the ease of use, we could look at a YouTube type service to deliver the content. But we could also look at backing up the content internally where we don't have to worry about any media servers or doing anything along those lines.
that'd be the quickest and cleanest. It just takes the video and makes it nice and slick and formats everything and compresses everything very, very nicely. I mean, obviously, people that work with YouTube, it's probably the easier way to go.
Everybody knows how to use it.
Yeah, I think the bigger question is do you want to keep it long-term? If you choose not to have this long-term meeting, let's say it's out there for 60 days, and then it just deletes.
Well, I think, and maybe we need to ask Chris that question, what's the overriding rules and regulations for once you start doing something like that, how long do you have to keep it? And
Based on the feedback Doug had received from legal counsel, was it 90?
They basically said, as long as we're still keeping official minutes in that, we can
Oh,
have it
then it's
90 days or
whatever.
whatever we want.
Okay.
There's no, because it's not the official record.
So if we don't clarify it as an official record, then we stop taking official records. If we keep our official record, we can leave it out there 90 days, so it's not a die.
Or you want to leave it out there a year, you know, it would be a board decision.
I think it's beneficial to have, so I mean, even
Yes.
to be able to reference something 2 years from now and look back and say, oh, you know what? We talked about doing the roof then, and this is what we want to do, and this is what we want to accomplish, or whatever it might be. I think being able to look back and reference that versus having to, you know, search through thousands of board minutes and things like that.
Oh, I know that well.
Right, it can be helpful, and if it's not really costing us anything, you know, if we're not having to buy a bunch of hardware and invest in capital in doing so, then why not keep it out there? Or say, you know what, after 10 years it falls off, or after 10 years it gets archived onto a CD and then it sits on a shelf somewhere, or whatever it might be. I think having it has value.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Jensen, can I offer a little input since I'm on the committee here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys are advisory.
Sure.
Could you step over there though, so we can hear?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I guess one thing you might want to consider is if you, whatever format the video camera records in, and then you have this electronic record of your meeting, somebody may want to have a copy of that. And I don't know if putting it on YouTube, which is really not a way for the average person to grab the footage and then they can watch it. But one of the things that really helps people out is when if somebody wants to take, you know, it could be 10 different people in the community, but they might want to take the footage, break it into pieces, annotate some of it, help people find stuff quickly. And we've probably all seen school districts where there's the meeting and it's, like tonight, we're probably going to be 3 or 4 hours and nobody really knows where one discussion started, one ended. So if somebody in the community wanted to keep doing something similar to what I do, how would you provide that electronic copy of your meeting? Would you be required to? I don't know, but it's something else to think about because really YouTube is pretty careful and there are certainly ways, but you can't just grab a YouTube video, download it and start chopping it up. It's not easily done like a lot of other sites are.
I mean, it is possible. I've taken video off YouTube before. It just takes a little bit. You have to run the right software to do
But
it.
I guess maybe the question is a leading question. When somebody makes a public record request for your electronic copy of your meeting, can you just say, well, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it, or because you have this copy now, are you required to let them stop in and then put it on their pen drive or whatever they want?
Well, something we could do, and Cannon, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we are storing the original, let's say we store the original, you know, HD copy or whatever it might be on the district servers, much like a PDF or anything else, could we link that to the event, the meeting event and the calendar, so that it could give the option of people like Matt or somebody who might want to download the original content, they could. It'd be available, but if the average person wanted to watch it, it would be available on YouTube in a little easier fashion, or something along those lines. Maybe it's a separate web page in the district that has just a list of meetings, and you know, here's the original video. However, we might need to do it because the other concern I would have hosting it here would be bandwidth. I mean, if you have a lot of people watching that, all of a sudden your bandwidth is going to kill by a couple hundred people in the community watching the video the next day.
Absolutely, that's another reason for putting it out on YouTube, so it takes it
Right.
out of us.
Yes.
As far as making it available, we can figure out, I wouldn't put it locally on our storage, just because they need credentials to log in and all that. We might be able to look at our website as another avenue to see
Sure.
if we can download it
There's
now.
some place to dump it, and it's available if, Matt or somebody wanted to download the original and edit it or whatever they might want to do.
Absolutely, or, yeah, depending on whatever the legalities are, I mean, we can have it available on a media for them to take, I don't know, but yes, we can have different avenues should we need to go that route.
Yeah, I think whatever would be the easiest option for us without placing a burden on the district.
I think
You don't want to get,
YouTube's obviously the easiest.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
right, as far as looking at, but if someone, because then if I could see if we didn't make it available in the easy format, then you would get open records requests for the original. So that would just be excellent.
I don't know that there's I don't know that you can actually open a record request for that.
Because that's just.
Because here's the other problem is, yeah, it's already out there. For example, if we upload a PDF that's only a 300 DPI PDF, that's great. There's no such thing as making an open records request for the original 1200 DPI. A record is a record. It doesn't clarify as to the resolution of the record. So I don't think we should spend time in the district trying to make it available for one person that might want to parse it out and segment it out and do something with it. If somebody's that intent that they need to know about it, they should be at the meeting watching the meeting. This is for ease of use by people that don't have time to get to the meeting. It's not meant to be a segmented out and commented on what's happening at the meeting. People should be able to by themselves watch the video and know what's going on. And it's not hard. I mean, you know as well as we do on YouTube. You can take it, scroll right across as fast as you want to. You can see who's talking, right? I mean, on your website, I do that. I can scroll right across, right?
Yeah,
So it's not an issue.
you can
of-
fast forward it wherever you want, but
Right.
you have to watch the whole movie if you want to know where somebody said something.
Yes, but even so, even when you're talking about the new way of viewing videos for the board members, you're not going to go back and be able to search on what Doug said 3 years ago in video.
Well, you might if a community member breaks it down for everybody.
Yeah, I know.
and has the-
And I think Ken will probably clarify this, but I think how that works with those software packages is the videos go kind of hand in hand with the minutes and everything else. So when you're pulling up a particular meeting, you're going to see the minutes for that meeting, the video. So by searching the site itself, you're going to pull up that video because it's going to reference the minutes. So,
So you put it out on YouTube for just general viewing, but you can still have it tied into one of your
well, I
sites?
think probably depending on what we do in this next thing we're going to talk about, will probably dictate some of what we're talking about now.
I guess before moving forward with anything regarding this, I'd like to hear that second piece, to know what that's
Right,
all
yeah, you
about
probably-
there.
probably should have
To move
flipped it.
into,
What of that?
okay, move it, yes.
Here comes a copy of Ken's.
For people that don't know, we're looking at eliminating all our papers and going to laptop computers, and this will be one of the systems we'll be looking at.
All right, so a couple of months ago, we talked about just, hey, can we look at electronic options? There was a list that was sent out amongst administrators and board members of different pieces. And the two that we looked at was board book and board docs. So mainly those were the ones that concentrated on, that they provided us information and a brief demo. So I guess, again, as Doug mentioned, reasons for going this route is reducing overall paper, eliminating cost of delivery of board materials, simplifying the process of distributing any minutes and things that change throughout the week, so we can get that out as quickly as possible, and then streamlining the process of making documents available to the public, especially those that are deemed as appropriate to do so. So those are some of the reasons for looking at this. As I mentioned, board book and board docs are the two pieces we looked at. Now, some of the things that Tom had mentioned, now I'm looking at the LTE version. The video portion, we may have to dig a little bit further as far as there's a pro version that will tie into that. But again, it's we can get to that in a minute. Just between the two, some similarities. Obviously, both of them are web-based. They allow for public and private views of materials. They provide us with a public, like a link to a public view that we can easily post onto our website. Each of them will have a primary admin account, and then we can also create additional accounts should we have administrators or public viewers or for board members, just different pieces that they can see. Once an agenda has been created, we can copy it for use or revise it for a new meeting. And then both of them have a drag and drop feature. So as you see, your agendas are printed. If you want to just drag and shift things around, it reorders everything, reorganizes everything on the fly. Both appear to function very well in a tablet or a laptop format. And neither really that intensive. I mean, you don't need anything real beefy necessarily to run the software. Again, as some of you have mentioned, there is a search option, so you can kind of search through things that you have created, keywords, different projects you might have done. You can do those keyword searches. And then you can add past materials into the system to create your archive, kind of a searchable archive. Some of the differences, so with BoardBook, it converts everything to a PDF as you're working and getting ready to go. Board Docs keeps the files in the native format. If you have a publisher format or Word or what have you, it just brings it right in and you can work with it in that native format. BoardBook has 2 levels of access. It has public and a private, whereas Board Docs provides you kind of 3 levels, public, an admin, and a board or an executive level of access. BoardBook creates a board packet consisting kind of like one big large PDF, and then it has numbering built in. And then to print a board packet with Board Docs, the agenda and then each items are printed separately. BoardBook can only search within your own district's material. Board Docs kind of offers a meta search that if there are other customers that are using Board Docs, for example, and they have similar projects going on, for example, let's say they're resurfacing a roof or floor, you can kind of search and just see what they put out there for public, things that they put out in public, we can kind of look at and see how which route they want to go, or did go. As far as pricing, again, Board Docs, there's an initial $1,000 fee set up, and then that includes training, and then also there's ongoing materials available, short demos and things just for people that are putting together the docs that want to view and log on. There's demos set up, and then thereafter is $3,000, and then BoardBook is a straight up $2,000 annual cost.
At the WGSD convention, I was able to talk with both vendors, and Board Docs had the demo there. BoardBook did not, but Board Docs is a pretty smooth process of looking at everything. You can see the 3 different levels of all the 3 levels that are accessible. So they did a nice job with that product. I didn't get to see BoardBook live, just talk to the rep.
Yeah, when we look at, as you mentioned, the workflow with the Board Docs just seemed to flow very nicely. And then kind of the added security level of what you can see when during the process that you're putting together the packet, as administrators or board members, or when it's ready for public, it just gives you that different layer.
That was actually the recommendation, that was to go with Board Docs, based on what Ken and I interacted with the 2 vendors, because of that flexibility of the workflow product. Even though it's a little bit more money, just that increased flexibility is advantageous.
And they also let you annotate documents, I believe?
They do to a certain degree, and then if you want further annotation, or again, that media piece, you might need to look at that pro version of Board Docs.
And then if things are updated, it alerts you, correct?
I don't know if it's an automatic alert. I have to check into that. Looked at the demo a month or so back.
Sure.
I'm not sure.
I remember
Remember,
Board-
right, there was a setting to do that,
Yeah.
and so that would be how you alert it.
Right, I remember that from looking at the original Board Docs one, which I thought was nice because a lot of times things change last minute. And we usually don't know, if there's not happiness on the packet, which is totally understandable, we find out when we get here, but if changes are being made in the office, then we get an alert, whatever it is, that, hey, this agenda's been updated, or this has changed, or whatever it might be, which is nice.
So we don't currently have enough, but the pricing difference would be
For
to,
the pro, no, I hadn't realized we wanted to do the embedding of the video, but they're pretty responsive. I mean, if I send an email, they respond pretty quickly. So.
Well, and like I said, it's not the end of the world, so I mean, if that fee jumps up to be astronomical just because we can embed some videos, I'd rather go with the free, YouTube option, we can certainly live with that.
Well, and you pull it up on YouTube on the device.
Right, exactly.
The question is going to be, how much money you're going to spend having personnel play around with video embedding it. It'd be pretty costly, especially if you're going to go through and annotate different sections to
Well-
parse them out later on.
And kind of going back to, and I think that'll be part of the decision, with, are we going to video? Okay, yeah, we want to video. Okay, well then what's going to be the process of videoing? How
Yeah.
in detail are we gonna get? Are we gonna break these videos up, you know, like Matt does on his site, or are we just gonna post the whole video and leave the reference being the meeting minutes and people can find what they need that way? I think that'll be part of the decision. Though I have to imagine with the board docs, the more expensive product allows similar YouTube functionality to it, where you can upload the video within the software and things like that.
So as far as moving these items forward, there's 4 of us on the committee, but taking the videotaping of the board meetings to board our next meeting. Okay, and then also moving forward to look at board docs as our product to get it online and available to ourselves and also the public.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the clarification I would have would be, board docs, these are the native language, is it modifiable for future revisions? How many revisions is it keeping? What are available online to the public? And all of a sudden you have a trail of hundreds of documents that may not even be the current document that have been modified. So what did you see? What did they tell you?
It does look like it timestamps when there are edits and revisions, so you are able to see that. And obviously, as you're editing, you can close it off for the public viewing until internally you guys decide, hey, this needs modification or this needs changes. And it does give, again, on the specific file, what the edit and revision dates are.
Okay, so it still qualifies as the state standard, which is, it's an open record. You can request it. It can be taken a long time to give it, but it doesn't have to be a preceding a board meeting. Meaning, if you don't know what the final revision is, even of the agenda, until we get here, then Chris prints the agenda out, puts them on a table or something, right?
I
We
think,
have a summarized agenda, it kind of flux, things are added, subtracted, you know. We get here a lot of times, there's a new agenda sitting in front of us.
Well, I think that's up to us. When we, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be something available to a publish, you know, button that, okay, this, when you publish it, you make it viewable to everybody, that's when it goes live, and then you have the ability to update it. And I'm sure, like Pam's referencing, if, you know, someone in the community were to go back and say, okay, what's the agenda going to be tonight, then it's gonna say, you know, this was edited 15 minutes ago, it's different than the last time we looked at it.
Or there's just the time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
right, or you make a cutoff time when
Right.
it's done, and
Or we don't publish, or, you know, the district decides we're gonna publish, you know, the day before a meeting,
Right.
or, you know, it's probably some of that's up to us to decide how we wanna implement it.
Yeah.
Though as long as the software has the flexibility to accommodate that, then we
Right.
should be good.
yeah.
I would say, I would recommend that we go forward with the video, push it to the board, and say that YouTube's the route to go right now. Let's take baby steps getting there. Went from nothing to something, that's a good way to go. YouTube has the ability for anybody to download it if they want to download it. It might not be in high def resolution, but you don't need high def resolution to edit it. So, yeah. And if it becomes an issue in the future, then you want to offer high def, that's a whole different subject. And Ken will have to do a lot of extra work to have that available for somebody, but I don't know that an open records request would even be pertinent at that point. It's open record because it's already uploaded to YouTube. As long as we don't have a different copy than what's on YouTube, our open record is open to everybody. So there's no way to then say, I want another open record.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to, and I guess I wasn't so much referring to high def or not, I think it just comes down because we can easily put it on YouTube in high definition. I think it comes down to whether or not we say, okay, we're just, YouTube's it, and that's just where it is, and if you want to download it, and then you figure out how to do it, you know, that type of thing.
Well, clarify me if I'm wrong, and Matt may know this. If you upload it to YouTube, YouTube automatically converts it to a format easily for them to download and
I didn't think you could download, but I'm, despite what I do, I really am not that good at it.
yeah, you're not gonna store a 10 gig file
Well,
in a
they
video
do.
file. You want
You
to put
can
it
store the high def, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know that anybody can download your
You can.
video. You can't.
Not,
I
they're
mean-
not native, they don't
Right.
provide native ability to do
You're just
that.
gonna get an MPEG on
It's
it.
not a button, you can
Right.
click and say download this, but
You gotta down, yeah.
You got software everywhere, you just
Yeah.
download software.
The other thing I was just pondering here is, you know, that way you're making it internet, somebody has to have internet to access your record. That just might be another legality issue, so I don't have internet, but I want to watch the movie, now you might have to give it to me on a digital format, I don't know. Probably not anybody, but you just,
Probably go to the library and pick it up,
yeah, I'm, just questions you ask the attorney, I guess.
Yeah.
because we still have the official minutes and that, yeah.
But let's do this, let's try to keep it as simple as possible for the personnel of the
Just
district.
start with the.
Oh, I agree.
You know, I mean, we're not in business here to be the record makers and everything, we're here to teach kids, so I think the less time we have can in working on video processing, better off.
Oh, and I agree, and that's why when I brought it
Yeah.
up, I just meant, you know, if it was an easy link and you could just do it like you would a PDF, then great, but if it's a involved process or you've got stuff to do it, then no.
Yeah, I mean, eventually board docs works out and they've got
Yeah.
something easy to work.
So I'll second Dan's motion,
Yeah.
to take it to the board for the YouTube.
For
And-
action item.
for
The
an
other one
action.
would be the board docs, for that, for discussion and approval.
And I'll second that too. All right,